Welcome to That's Why We're Friends.
The podcast where we laugh a lot, talk about real life, and hold on to faith through it all.
We're two friends navigating the oldish season of life and celebrating the kind of friendships that make it all a little easier.
So whether you're feeling overwhelmed, hopeful, or just need a laugh, this podcast is for you.
Pull up a chair and join the conversation.
Hey, Sarah.
Hey, Kara.
How are you?
I am doing great.
Yes.
Just flying through the month, flying through the year. We're about to be wrapping up all the things,
I know.
which doesn't feel possible, but
No.
yet here we are.
Yeah, we have less than 10 days until Christmas.
Yeah, that doesn't feel real.
Yeah, I mean, it feels kind of real. We're 3 Christmas parties in this month,
Yeah.
and actually, wait, no, 4 Christmas parties, which is fine. That's pretty normal. I feel like this time of year, there's usually at least 1 or 2 every weekend. Right?
Yeah, I love it. I think it's super fun because for me, like the rest is coming.
Yeah.
Like everything just feels like it gets so quiet. Once Christmas actually comes and the New Year, when my dad, he worked at John Deere, and they always had like 2 weeks in that time frame where like they closed their offices and stuff.
2
corporately.
weeks.
And
Wow.
so that rhythm with just things kind of slowing down and there being stillness. And so I kind of have that in my brain. So I'm on break for school. And so this is the best time of year because I just don't have to think about any classes or anything. And so,
Yeah, I know that's nice for you. I'm thankful in this oldish season of life that we don't have all the kids' activities during Christmas too. When there was always a concert, a recital, something. There was always something. Class parties, plays, everything hit in December, and that always just made December feel so much more because there was not only 1 to 2 parties per weekend, but then there were 1 to 2 activities per weeknight on top of it. And per kid, exactly. Yeah. And so I'm thankful right now that we're in that phase where we don't have those. I know eventually we'll have grandkids that are at that age.
You will.
And you will too.
I will too.
And so we'll get back there, but
yes. But it'll be more optional, I feel like, and less. Like you won't be at the classroom parties and all
Right.
things,
Well, it'll be more optional. Plus, I think it'll feel lighter because we won't have to get the kid ready or get all their things together.
Or get them home and get them fed and to bed.
Yeah, exactly. So,
pop in and pop out.
Yeah, that's right.
Well, speaking of there being a lot and having lots of things, we know that is, just part of, unfortunately, what this time of year is known for. So we wanted to be super intentional. We're kind of doing some different things this month with the podcast and just some little bit shorter, maybe some not so much, just kind of depends. But for this particular episode, we really wanted to talk about slowing down.
Yeah.
Being intentional of finding time for awe and wonder,
Yeah.
which is all around us
It
this
is.
time of year. I mean, we're surrounded by it, but how often do we take the time to pause and really realize it?
Yeah. No, I feel like I will say this, when the kids were smaller, I do feel like we were more intentional about it.
Sure.
Because we wanted to have these like family traditions of driving around and looking at lights or just sitting and drinking some hot chocolate and reading the Christmas story or reading a Christmas book,
Yeah.
And so I think in that respect, it is easier maybe when you have kids because you're more intentional than just if you're an empty nester, just with your adult spouse.
Right.
It's sort of like, okay, well, it's Christmas and, what all do we have to get done?
Yes.
So yeah, the slowing down. I was thinking about this morning how when I was a kid, last week when we did our favorite things episode, I was telling you that we always were at my grandparents' on Christmas morning. And so that meant we were driving to my grandparents' house on Christmas Eve. And typically it was at night because my mom sometimes would have to work. And then, we would do our Christmas at home and then we would go. And so I remember as a kid driving there, and they lived in East Texas. So it was in the middle of nowhere. And looking up at the sky and seeing all the stars, because you could just obviously, when you're out in the country, you can see so much. And always searching for the brightest star and thinking that if I could find the brightest star, I would see the same star that the wise men saw when they were going to find Jesus. And it just made me think about how we, as adults, we lose that awe and wonder of Christmas time.
Yes. Yeah.
And just being kind of taken by beholding who Jesus is.
Yes. That's so, it is the thing that we miss. I think kids naturally just have that awe and wonder. And so when they're in our home, we're more likely to have that perspective and see it that way. So being intentional and choosing to slow down and choosing to find God, find those moments, see his wonder, see the great things that he's doing, can make all the difference in the world. And I think part of it, I love to sometimes bring in some of the, the sciencey stuff, the mental health stuff, the brain stuff, because some people, I think word is kind of spreading, but not everyone knows that the research has been done. The results are in. There is no longer any question about it. Multitasking is not a thing.
Right.
It just, in your brain, it actually doesn't exist. Yeah. It is not neurologically possible for you to fully give your attention and do two things well at the same time. Yeah. And in fact, your productivity levels actually go down by up to 40%. Wow. When you're doing, I'm doing both these things at the same time. Well, you probably aren't doing either one of them very well. Yeah. And it's not good for your brain because your brain is doing this context shifting, which really is a form of kind of creating anxiety in your brain because it's not really made to do that well for long periods of time. When you're in moments of like crises or trauma, that's when our bodies can kind of take on these supernatural things. But we're not supposed to leave it in that state for just hours on end. Yeah. And so, choosing to be present in the one thing that we're doing makes a difference physiologically in our brain, but also just in our mood and in our ability to enjoy what we're doing, enjoy the person I'm having a conversation with. Right. Versus, trying to listen while also, I think we all have people, maybe husbands, maybe ourselves, where we've been in a conversation or we're a guilty party of like, I'm kind of listening to you, but I'm also reading something on my phone. And so it's like that, we know what that feels like. Right. And so just bring that into your own life. If I'm doing two things, well, one of them is getting that kind of halfway attention. So I'm not really experiencing it well. So when you apply that to something like this season where the invitation can always feel like it's right there to do three things at once just so I can get them done, where can we stop? Yeah. Be still, be intentional, and maybe it means we do less things. Right. Maybe it means I make one kind of cookie instead of three, or
Oh, Sarah, that's so hard.
Maybe that, where can we stop and say, okay, where can I create some space so that I can find some stillness, I can be present, because then I'm able to see and experience the awe and wonder of God and his presence in this season because it's everywhere.
It is everywhere. Yeah, you're right. And, one thing that our church talks about a lot is what you behold, you become. Yes. And so thinking about focusing on Jesus and like getting rid of distractions even and not doing two things at once kind of thing, obviously we have tasks that we need to get done, but when we think about it in the Christmas season, which, the whole like old saying, the reason for the season, which I sometimes feel like that saying has gotten where it's a little bit cheesy, because we've heard it for so long and it just feels like it's something we just say, but it's true. Right. And so if we're spending our Christmas season beholding the one that is the reason for the season that we're celebrating, then we should automatically become more like him because we're beholding him more. Yes. And so in becoming like him, we can't be in a rush. Our lives can't be chaotic. We have to rest because those are just things Jesus did. Mm-hmm. And so if we're beholding him, we're going to look more like that.
Yes. Well, and when we do that, then we're actually going to enjoy the season more because we're going to enjoy the people that we're with because we're not in a rush, we're not frazzled, we're not stressed. So it's really the key to really enjoying this season. And because I can remember times in the past where I found myself looking forward to like it being over. Oh yeah. And I remember when I became aware of that, and I was like, okay, I do not want that. Like, this is my favorite time of year. And part of it is I was just getting too much into the shopping, gifts is my love language, and I love it, but I can go overboard. I just get excited with the kids and all the people. And so I have to rein myself in, because it does add stress, because everything you buy, then you've got to wrap. And I like wrapping. And so it can just snowball.
Yeah.
And so I'm very intentional this time of year, because I love this time of year for all the reasons. And if there's anything that's coming in to kind of push that out, I'm like, okay, no, I'm not doing that.
Yeah.
So,
well, and with all the gift buying, I mean, I do so much shopping online, but I do feel like there is a point at which you need to go to stores. And with all that gift buying come crowds. And that really stresses me out. Crowds and lines make me so stressed. I lose my patience. I mean, I don't lose it, because it's in there somewhere, because it's a fruit of the spirit, but I don't grab onto it and use it. I don't eat whatever fruit that is, because I get very impatient with all the lines.
It gets harder.
And the traffic and all the things. Yes. And that just really, I feel like that's what makes my Christmas season a lot of times feel overwhelming, is like, okay, I need to go to a store, and I know what should take me, 20 or 30 minutes is going to take an hour, because there's a line and there's people. So
all the more reason to find the times for awe and wonder. So
yes, exactly.
A verse in Psalm 65:8 that says, "The whole earth is filled with awe at your wonders. Where morning dawns, where evening fades, you call forth songs of joy." And I love this verse, just the way that it ties in the morning and the evening and joy, and just that the whole earth is filled with awe at his wonders. And for me, that means that at any time, in the morning, in the evening, in the middle of the day, I can sit down and I can choose. And I mean, here's what's great about Christmas. There's plenty of darkness this time of year.
Yeah.
And so I love being like in the living room, like where the tree is, and having, most of the lights off, maybe like a lamp, and just the Christmas lights. Like that for me is moments that bring just some peace and some stillness. To just sit and it's just beautiful.
It's beautiful. I know.
And just being in awe of that, of just, thank you, Lord, that we have this time of year where we have so many opportunities to have fun, to experience joy, to experience generosity, to experience gratitude and family. I mean, there's so much great stuff. I mean, you could pick one, whatever perspective you want of, what this season has turned into, but there is a perspective you can choose there's so much to be grateful for if you can find and hang on to that perspective and not get overwhelmed by everything else. And I think that's really the heart of what you and I are wanting, and what we're hoping for our listeners, is that we're able to really just enjoy it all and not want any of it to just be over.
Yeah. And just to hang on to it, And I know it's like a thing that I do feel like every year too, you hear people talk about how they want to carry that Christmas feeling with them, into the year. And it's funny because talking about the Christmas lights being on, we do several trees at our house, but in our main living area, there are actually 2 trees in 2 separate rooms, but it's sort of an open area. And so you can see both of them from my kitchen. And we leave our Christmas lights on 24/7 during the Christmas season. We don't unplug or turn off, or we just leave them on. And I always love when I get up in the morning that there's just like these 2 trees that are just like sparkly little lights, kind of in the middle of the darkness. And when those get taken down after Christmas every year, I miss like that beauty, and so it is figuring out a way to, again, behold Jesus. And how do we keep beholding him as we go into the new year when it's not so much in your face, Right.
Yeah. No, that's a good point. And I'm sure we'll talk about that in January, how we're going to
hold on to it.
Yeah, hold on to it. So just, connecting the dots of, we've talked about the mental health and the brain and the spiritual aspects. I want to clarify, we're not saying you need to find this grand, amount of time to sit and, stop everything. The research shows that even 60 seconds of stillness can reset your automatic nervous system, reducing stress signals by 20 to 30%.
Wow.
So think about that. I mean, 60 seconds, that is what the research has shown.
Yeah.
And so that is just 1 minute, like 1 minute of pausing and choosing to be still. Now, we all have minutes that we're doing other things, that we can substitute those for just some moments of quiet and stillness and gratitude to find that awe and wonder in this season. So it's not a hard step to take to bring that into this season.
Yeah. I would even say, like, I would challenge people. There was a season in my life where I just had so much going on. I mean, it seems like every season, but I remember that for a while, I actually had an alarm set on my phone to go off 3 times a day. And it would remind me to stop and breathe for 1 minute. And I think, it's the same as what you're saying.
That's
so
what
like if you're feeling overwhelmed and stressed this season, set an alarm on your phone and have it go off, 3 different times a day, and literally sit and take 5 deep breaths in 1 minute and breathe in and breathe out the name of Jesus and let it just like refocus you and recenter you.
Yes.
Yeah.
Love it. It's that simple.
Yeah.
Like it doesn't have to be something you have to sit and do for an hour. I mean, if you can find an hour of stillness,
good for you.
Go for it. Like absolutely take advantage of that. But building those little minutes in here and there will definitely, and maybe this is a verse to even put on your phone that can kind of be tied to, we talked about habit stacking recently.
Yes, we did.
And so you could have that alarm go off and then read the verse, the whole earth is filled with awe at your wonders, where morning dawns, where evening fades, you call forth songs of joy. That would be a great one to even say and meditate on, in that minute or, whatever that pause looks like. So some great things. We definitely, we're equipped. We can do it. We can find moments of pause and reflect. Awe and wonder.
Yeah, I definitely think so too. That what you just were talking about, how in the morning and in the evening, it made me think about when I walk the dog. I just noticed this, that when I walk the dog in the morning now, with the leaves being, in Texas, leaves are slower to come off. So they're mostly off the trees by December. You can hear the birds more clearly. I guess maybe it's like the leaves don't block the sound, or I don't know.
That makes sense to me.
I always feel like winter mornings and evenings feel like the air has more volume to it. Yeah. Does that make sense?
It really does make sense. I don't know if it makes sense to anyone else who's listening, but,
but
your logic, actually, I'm tracking with too, because the leaves aren't in there, soundproofing.
It's like a room when you put carpet and curtains in it, right? It absorbs the sound. Yes. I think the leaves absorb some of the sound, but I was just noticing how I could hear the birds so much more clearly, and I mean, I typically walk him pretty, not early, but early enough in the morning that the birds are still out. And it's just, I love the mornings when I get out, especially some mornings I will get out right as the sun's coming up, and just, it is awe and wonder. It's so beautiful just to see how God changes the sky from, black to all these colors, and then to just pure light. So, yeah.
It's great. Well, there's lots of different things, I think we've given some good handles to things to do, whether it's in nature, maybe there's a way, I don't know if you want your family to know it or not, but just to have a minute to, maybe you don't have to stare right at them. They might think that's weird, but a picture of them, of like, just really being in awe and wonder of your family, of the people that God has given you, of your children, of your spouse, of just, those moments of gratitude. And just realizing, I think, in the moment of how we're surrounded by his blessings and his goodness. There's so much to be in awe of and to be grateful for. So I think, you can, there's lots of the lights. We've talked about the trees, lots of things in the house that have lights, lighting a candle. You mentioned like the walk, being outside in nature, lots of just little great things that we can do to incorporate that this time of year.
We love to go look at Christmas lights on houses. Do y'all do that?
We haven't done that very much. I did that more growing up, but we haven't done that as much. I do enjoy seeing the Christmas lights just kind of inadvertently. So one of my favorites is, do you know the broccoli trees?
I'm sorry, what?
So it's not necessarily a known thing. That's what I call them. The broccoli trees that are in by the Kroger. There's like the trees every year that they're all green and they look like broccoli.
What are you talking about?
It's in a flower mound. It's at 24.99 11.71 outside that Kroger. There's always, they put these green lights on their trees.
Okay, no, I do not know that.
Like pieces of broccoli.
Okay, I'm gonna intentionally try to drive by there. To be fair, I don't hit that corner very often.
Okay.
Because I cut through a neighborhood to get back up into like the main part of town where I frequent all the things and where churches and all the stores. I don't go past there, and to be fair, I'm usually in bed by 8, so I'm not out driving around in the dark.
Well, but it's dark now at like 5. So
well, I know that's true, but even still,
well, you've got to go see the broccoli trees because the broccoli trees bring me joy. Because once they like,
I think I'm gonna drive up there and bust out laughing.
It's gonna be great.
Broccoli
We'll have to
trees.
post a picture of the broccoli.
There
trees.
is Have you ever driven down that little road? I cannot think of what it's called. Not that it matters to anyone listening.
I know. It's so like, it doesn't matter.
But those people out, they have all this land, and there's one tree in the middle of this huge piece of land, and they literally wrap thousands of lights on it, and it just is lit up like red every year. Have you seen it?
Oh, I don't know about red. The one I'm thinking of is one that's like not there anymore. Between my house and your house.
Oh.
The great big one. It's been gone for a couple of years. It died.
Well, goodness, maybe it is gone and I don't know it.
I feel like this just took a really sad turn.
We might have to edit this out, or people might just be laughing at us. Oh, well, it doesn't matter. Okay, back to broccoli trees.
Back to broccoli trees.
Okay, I will definitely be driving past the broccoli trees to take a look at them.
You're going to do it. I'm going to get a picture next time Paul's driving and we go by, and that way we can post it and show everybody. I know people out there know what I'm talking about.
Are they little bitty trees?
No. They're big, huge trees. Big, huge pieces.
So they're
of broccoli.
broccolini. They're not just broccoli.
No, but they're
They're poofy at the top?
Yes. I promise. You just wait. It's going to happen, and everyone's going to be like, yes, of course, the broccoli trees. It makes so much sense.
Well, if there's a broccoli tree near you, you let us know.
Yeah.
Actually, everyone should take pictures and send them to us.
Yes. Your favorite lit up trees.
Broccoli trees?
Yeah.
Or they
just any lit up trees.
Okay,
yeah.
any tree. Okay.
Yes. I'm telling you.
Took a very weird turn.
It did.
I think as we move forward, we're halfway through the month, and I know that everyone's calendars are probably, even if your kind of parties are over, your activities are over, calendars are probably getting, a little bit condensed, because there's going to be a few days coming up here where the world seems to shut down. Mm-hmm. Offices, stores, businesses, schools, everybody shuts down a little bit. Yeah. And so I know people are running around trying to get last minute things done. And so we just want to encourage you, these next couple of weeks before Christmas, next 9 days before Christmas, just really, take some time to stop and breathe. Yeah. Set your alarm on your phone. Have some awe and wonder about the season. And, maybe thinking back even to what we talked about during November of gratitude, maybe we can bring that into December, and just one thing a day, and maybe focus it directly at the Christmas season. Like, what is one thing that you're thankful for about Jesus, and why we take this time of year just to celebrate who he is? And then in turn, because of who he is, we get to generously give gifts to people and love people in our lives.
Absolutely. So, how are you going to enjoy the life that God gave you this week?
I'm going to enjoy it by finishing my Christmas shopping. Like, just last minute little stocking stuffer things. And I do feel like, as much as I hate this every year, I feel like there's always one or two people. It's not that you forget them, but it's that they're not on your main list, and you're scurrying around to get, something for those people. And so, and then
I like cash. You can just give me cash.
Oh yeah, it's definitely you. I totally forgot about you. So I feel like it's always, the people that you think, I think you take for granted. Like, I take for granted some people that do like they serve me in my life in certain ways, particular ways. We've gotten to know our UPS lady over the last several years. I mean, it's been very sweet. She loves our dog and she leaves him a bone. And when we see her, we talk to her. Like I found out that her mom died and her parents had been sick. And so we just talk and stuff. And so I always like to get her something, but for some reason, like I want to do that, but I don't put her on the main list.
Right.
And I forget. And I'm like, I need to run out and get her something. So yeah, things like that. But yeah. What are you going to do in the next week to enjoy the life God gave you?
Well, I actually, just because I'm going to do it in the next, for like 24 hours, really something we've kind of talked about, I'm just going to have some quiet time set aside where I'm going to have some, it gets dark at 5 o'clock. And so it makes for cozy evenings. And I enjoy those to get a book, light a candle, just enjoy the ambiance, have some quiet and read, maybe have some tea. And so I really have like kind of carved out that I'm doing that an evening this week. And so that's really mine for this week. I'm
awesome.
Gonna really looking forward to it. Mm-hmm.
So, now, when you say you're going to get a book, do you do fiction books? I'm not sure I know this about you.
Really?
Fiction or nonfiction? Or...
Yeah. When it comes to like pure enjoyment reading, 100% fiction.
Okay.
Definitely.
What kind of fiction are you?
So I like a lot of mystery. I do some murder mystery, but I really like a lot of Christian fiction because I don't want to read about the gore or the graphic and kind of all that stuff. So most of the fiction I read is Christian fiction, whether it's just the mystery stuff or so that's primarily I think what I enjoy reading. So
that's awesome.
Yeah,
good.
I'm excited.
All right. Well, we're going to encourage everyone, as we always do, to enjoy the life God gave you this week and go and look at some beautiful Christmas lights, have a cup of hot tea, hot chocolate, and just really savor in the moments of the season. Yeah. All right. Until next week. Bye. Thanks so much for spending time with us today on That's Why We're Friends.
We hope you laughed, felt encouraged, and are walking away with a little more hope for your day.
If you love this episode, make sure to follow the podcast so you never miss what's next.
And share it with a friend who needs a little encouragement, because that's why we're friends.
Some products or services we mention may be paid promotions. Any advice shared should be confirmed with a qualified professional. Our conversations and opinions are meant for encouragement and entertainment only.